Look, when we categorize something as essential material, it is actually the material which students read on a regular basis. So the most important thing in the last 30 days is actually holding on to your nerves and keeping the momentum, and of course revision. Sustaining the momentum of your studies is far easier than just giving breaks and then gathering all the might and coming back to books again.
Hello dear aspirants, I am Vishal Salsekar and I welcome you all to this special conversational series organized by Vision IAS regarding UPSC CSE Prelims 2024. Today's discussion topic is the last minute preparation regarding the last 30 days for UPSC CSE. So to discuss more regarding this, I am joined by Geetika ma'am, who is the faculty of Vision IAS. Welcome ma'am.
Hi Vishal, how are you?
I am fine ma'am, how are you?
Good.
So ma'am, as the official cutoff is already there with us, right? So what are your observations regarding what kind of questions were there in this particular paper and what are your observations regarding the same?
Vishal, look, of course the official cutoffs are out and also the answer keys are also out. And we have observed that the cutoffs have been just, going down everywhere. Which means what? Which means students are making mistakes left, right and center, okay? The paper is definitely difficult, but if you take a look at the paper very closely, you will realize that the paper is divided into three parts: easy, medium and difficult. And the easy questions range about 20 in number, medium is about 40 and another 40 questions are difficult. So if the students want to really target cracking this exam, the official cutoff was about 75.41, right? So if they want to crack this exam, they have to get about 40 questions net right.
Exactly.
40. That's just 40. So if you think out of 40, if you categorize easy, medium and difficult, you already have 20 questions which are easy, okay, which means straightforward. So for example, the question on Wolbachia method, okay, this was something that was there in the news also, and UPSC asked also a very simple straightforward question on what it is. These are the kind of questions that students have to target in this exam. They can't get this wrong because they are low hanging fruits. Apart from that, about 40 questions are of medium difficulty level, which means depending on your level of preparation, you can definitely crack some of those. If you look at the sources and how sources are categorized, Vision IAS also takes out this analysis. About 34 questions are from essential material. Material which means your standard textbooks like your NCRTs or your Spectrum and Lakshmikant for Polity. These are standard textbooks from which about 34 questions have been asked and could have been solved in last year's examination. Same thing, essential news. So that means news which was frequently circulated. It was there in the standard newspapers like Indian Express, The Hindu. There were about 24 such questions which were from the essential news. So if you club that number also, you get about 58 questions which were from essential material. Which is why all faculty members keep on repeating this thing, that please stick to your sources and keep revising thoroughly, because that is the key to cracking this exam.
Right. So ma'am, as you have talked regarding the essential materials and you have also talked that what are the essential material in general. So my question to you is if a student has not till this particular point of time, if they might not have referred to these particular kind of sources. So is it advisable that they should go to these specific sources or just they keep on revising whatever they have studied till now?
Look, when we categorize something as essential material, it is actually the material which students read on a regular basis. For example, Lakshmikant for Polity, it's kind of considered like a Bible which people obviously read. There is also a Spectrum for history, geography, NCRTs. These are books which students are already reading, they are already studying. They only have to consolidate this material, they only have to consolidate the information and make sure that they are not missing questions from these sources.
Okay, right. So ma'am, the point is I think you are pointing towards the revision related aspects, because they might have already gone through these particular material, but what they need to do right now is revising those particular things, whether through notes or any other thing. So regarding this consolidation, ma'am, any other kind of resources apart from these that you have already mentioned you want to recommend to the students?
Look, I would not, because only 30 days are left, it would not be, prudent on my part to recommend any other material as of now. Stick to these sources and just understand that whatever is being asked from these books, you have to get it right. This is the only way to crack this exam. Time and again, year after year, if you listen to toppers talk, what they have, how they have managed to crack prelims is through consolidation of these sources. Second, applying their general awareness, because this exam is not just an exam of your 1 year dedicated preparation. This is an exam of your general knowledge, your general studies, awareness around what is happening around simple things. If you listen to Animesh rank 2, he gave a talk here in Vision. And he told in his talk that, I was able to solve the question on National Handloom Day because it was my mother's birthday. There's a very interesting point. So please understand that this exam is not just testing you on the basis of what you have read in the last, 1 year or 1.5 years. It is a total, consolidation of your life. So anything, any small hint that you may have been able to, by reading some newspaper or talking to a friend, any piece of information can come in very handy in this exam. So the most important thing in the last 30 days is actually holding on to your nerves and keeping the momentum, and of course revision.
Right. I think all the senses should be there with you at the time of examination. That's what you want to recommend. Okay, ma'am. So now, ma'am, coming to the current affairs. This is a very dicey area because we exactly don't know like what kind of current affairs UPSC might be asking, from which resource UPSC might be asking. So my question to you is regarding the resource of current affairs. That in the last 30 days, is it recommended for a student who might have done certain amount of preparation, maybe from the newspaper, but to go to any specific other resource for the current affairs?
Look, right now it's too late to, open newspapers. Obviously, it makes no sense. Students by now are anyway consolidating their monthly magazines or PT 365, whatever material they have, studied at least once. Now is the time to just revise that. The important thing is, how do you do it? Okay, by now everybody has decided this is the material I'm going to read for this subject. The main question is, how do I utilize my next 30 days? How can I effectively consolidate that material? And for that, I'd like to give some, tips and tricks to the students. First and foremost is, students feel that, I have to sit down with all my books, open a book, and I have to dedicatedly, concentrate for 3 to 4 hours. Then only my studying will be on track. I don't agree with this idea completely. That's my personal opinion. But I don't agree because I feel the human mind has a limit. It exhausts very fast. So you don't really have to sit down with the books and make it like a big exercise. While just, you're doing your daily chores. For example, you're brushing. If you're brushing your teeth, don't don't let your mind wander to other places. Don't try to think about friends, who's studying what. Don't try to think about social media. Just leave all that aside. When you're brushing your teeth, casually think that, okay, I'm going to flip the pages of my atlas today, and maybe I'm just going to see the water bodies in Europe. Okay, and just while brushing my teeth, or just while doing normal, having my lunch or breakfast, I'm just going to flip through these pages. Why this is important is, it does not put that pressure in your mind ki, oh, acha, abhi main padhne baith raha hu. Okay, that has to be avoided. Second thing is, there is something called abandonship. Okay, which means the human mind, it kind of plays these tricks on you. In the last 30 days, students will feel ki yaar abhi to bas 30 days hi bache hain, ek saal mein I did not study as much as I wanted to for whatever reasons. To abhi padh ke kya hoga, let me just forget about this exam and maybe I'll give it next year with more dedication. So that is absolutely wrong. That there is idea of abandonship. You just want, at the slightest of motivation, the moment you give a long break, you feel like letting go. You don't have to give long breaks in your preparation. Sustaining the momentum of your studies is far easier than, just giving breaks and then gathering all the might and coming back to books again. Don't make that mistake. Sustain the momentum, keep it going, just keep it going. Keep your mind on the same track that let me just revise, keep on flipping pages. ऐसा नहीं है कि हर एक word अभी पढ़ना है. Keep on flipping pages, keep on looking at diagrams, keep on looking at atlas. All those things will really come in handy, because in the prelims examination, the advantage that you have is that the answer is right in front of you. Even a small, memory कि हाँ मैंने ऐसा कुछ map में देखा था, it can come in really handy in answering questions. And that is something that students have to keep in mind. And the same thing goes for current affairs. In current affairs also, keep flipping pages, keep revising. Don't, wait for you to mug up everything. That will never happen. If you're just casually also reading, that will do the trick.
Exactly. So that was very comprehensive, ma'am, and thank you very much for this. So now, ma'am, coming to the practice related aspect, because as there are less than 30 days now, students are confused like whether to appear for new mocks, because the mocks has this it's a kind of like double-edged sword. If it is giving you certain kind of good result, obviously your exam temperament will be going high. But if you might be getting on the otherwise like the negative kind of result, then obviously your confidence will up to certain extent shatter. So how to deal with this kind of dichotomy in this situation and appear for mock or not? Like,
okay, so there are two ways of giving mocks. One is when you really sit down in a simulated environment, you attempt the paper for 2 hours and then you try to assess yourself. One is that. The other way of doing mocks, when you have not done enough mocks already, okay, when you have not done, is simply just pick up the paper and see the solutions. Okay, because if you have not done it till now, right now, I don't think it makes sense for you to really sit down with 20 mocks and attempt each one of them. It will not give you as much results. Right now, you are not in a position to test yourself. You probably want to do that when you are a little more confident. If you have not attempted enough mock tests during the course of your preparation, I would recommend that you simply pick up questions and answers and start reading them like you would read any other material. Because then what happens is, after you have done this exercise, you have highlighted the portions, oh, I did not know this, okay? You are at par with someone who has already attempted those mocks in, a simulated environment. Your knowledge level will be the same, but you have to finish it at a faster pace. Jaldi usko karo.
Right. So I think in that case, the mock will be acting as a kind of value-added material
Exactly,
for you.
Exactly.
Right. So ma'am, now coming to the value-added material, I think you might have also heard regarding this quick revision documents.
Right.
Like, so how effective are these? And at this juncture, if the student might not have consolidated their material,
Absolutely.
Can they refer to this?
I think this is a gold mine. QRM, which Vision IAS has released, is a gold mine because everything, all the information has been consolidated and put in the form of infographics, images, data, flowcharts. Everything is there for you to just absorb. And of course, the human mind works on a pictographic memory. So you don't have to really rely on texts. When you see the image, it just imprints itself in your brain, and that is what you recollect in the examination. So it becomes very, very easy.
Right. So now, ma'am, coming to another crucial aspect for the prelims, which is the CSAT. And as far as the last year's prelims is concerned, it was a kind of like nightmare for many of the aspirants. Despite clearing GS one paper, they were not able to clear the CSAT, and that's why they were not able to qualify for this. So what kind of issues you are able to see in the preparation of an aspirant as far as the CSAT is concerned?
Look, preparation wise, there are two kinds of students who are either comfortable with maths, okay, and they are not so comfortable with, let's say, reading comprehension and the English part of it. And then there is one lot which is okay with the English part but not too comfortable with the maths. Again, nobody can predict what will be the examination like, but one of these two areas has to be strong. So it's not that both can be average or below average. You cannot, have that kind of risk. Because everything is at stake because of CSAT. I have myself spoken to so many students. I know students personally who appeared for interview last year but could not clear the prelims in 23 just because of CSAT. And it's a very big setback. And I want to tell students that at least one of the two sections you have to target that it should be strong. Either maths. If you're good at maths, you're good at maths all your life. You love maths. There are two kinds of people. Either you love maths or you hate maths. So if you love maths, then just focus on the maths part of it. And, you can just maybe do English. And if you are not so much, your affinity is not good with mathematics, please try and work on reading comprehensions because that will sail you through in CSAT.
Right. So that means do not rely only on one subject if you are not that much comfortable with the same. And I think the distribution of certain kind of risk risk should be there.
Yes, you have to see the paper and assess that, okay, one portion has to be strong, others can be average. So there is scope for mistakes in others. But one portion has to be strong, which will, sail you through, in which you're sure about the accuracy.
Exactly. So thank you very much, ma'am, for this. Now, ma'am, coming to another most crucial aspect, which is the stress, anxiety, lack on motivation, which generally student feels at this juncture, because the students are feeling anxious. They are feeling that they do not have anyone to share any specific thing regarding the examination, and in this last 30 days students generally lose on their momentum. So what kind of advice do you want to provide to the aspirants to keep up their momentum till the examination?
Right. So, this is a very lonely exam. There's no doubt about it. You're closed in a room and you're just studying all day long. Even 12 hours feels insufficient. It is a very lonely examination. But, there are stories, there are anecdotes of people we have heard who have overcome this, feeling of loneliness and anxiety. I'll just quote something which always intrigues me. So you have heard of Miss Aishwarya Rai and Miss Sushmita Sen. So when Miss Sushmita Sen, when they contested for Miss India, Aishwarya Rai was already an established model. Everybody knew that if she is participating in Miss India this year, she is bound to win it. So the moment she went to take the form, she got to know that Miss Aishwarya Rai is participating. She withdrew. She said, I cannot contest because I'll not win. So it was her mother who told her, I don't care whether you win or lose, at least you will win or lose against the prettiest lady in the world. So just go for it. So she went ahead and she participated, and the results, everybody knows about it. Like Sushmita Sen, she won the Miss India title and also the first Miss Universe title for India. So recently in a talk show, somebody asked her that, why do you think you won that day? Was it that you were better than Aishwarya, or what was it? And she gave a very nice reply, and she said, it's not that I was better than her that day. It's because I was my absolute best. I was my 100%. And this is the key to success in every field of life, every walk of life. If you want to succeed in something, you have to be your personal best. Don't care about who is, doing what, whether you're better than them. That is where your marks also, you have to think about it, that am I improving? Have I done my best? Did I do it to the best of my abilities? Were there any silly mistakes? Just focus on yourself. And that is the key to, getting through. You might have also watched the movie Bhag Milkha Bhag. There is this scene where he just turns around to look at his opponent and he, fails, and somebody else comes first. So these are real life stories. This is what happens when you focus on others. You have to focus on yourself. Think about gather all the strength that you have. I just want to tell this, gather all the strength that you have. Last 30 days are absolutely crucial, and it can just change the results for you this way or that way, completely depending on how you handle it.
Right. So ma'am, now as you have talked regarding, this is a kind of exam where you are a bit lonely, right? So, but in general, there is a role of peer group, there is a role of family, friends, mentors in general for an aspirant, and we have heard some success stories also where they have provided the example that how he or she had supported that particular person to achieve the success. So how do you see the peer group and families playing a role in motivating you and keeping you motivated for this last 30 days?
Look, family comes first. Okay, family is your family is your best friend, I think. Okay, your friends are there, that's good. But no one can love you and motivate you and show faith in you like your family does. And not the entire family, it doesn't have to be the entire lot, but even one person, if there is even one person in this world who kind of shows that faith in you, that is your go-to person. So you don't have to talk to 4-5 people a day just to feel more confident and better. Don't do that. You're wasting your time. Simply just talk to that one person, especially when you're completely feeling down and you're exhausted. Just then you talk to that one person, and I'm sure that person will be your confidant and will share everything with you, and you can just pour your heart out. And once you're done, like again come back on track, because here next 30 days every minute counts.
Exactly. So I think that was very good suggestion for the aspirant, because sometimes we think like we should be keeping away from any kind of distraction, and then we consider the family also as a kind of distraction in this particular case, right? So thank you very much, ma'am. So ma'am, my last question to you is like a last piece of motivational message to the aspirant so that they will be keeping their momentum up for the last 30 days.
Well, Vishal, I was trying to recollect that how did I gather my strength when I gave my first attempt, and I had the exam the very next day. I was totally, my nerves were all jittery and I was very nervous. So I had a friend come over and, he told me, look, it's okay to get out. You can get out if you want. It's okay. Batting kar rahe ho, out ho jao. But it's not okay to get hit wicket. You can't hit your own wicket. You can't make self goals. And that thing just, stuck with me, that what am I doing? I've studied and I've worked hard. Why do you think that, why will I make a self goal? You out ho gaye is okay, but hit wicket nahi ho raha hai. You can't let yourself sabotage your own efforts. And for that, you need to hold on to your nerves for the next 30 days.
That was very beautifully summarized by you, ma'am, and I think that particular piece of word will be inspiring for the aspirants also.
I hope so.
So thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us for this particular session, and thank you very much again, ma'am.
Thank you, Vishal.
So with this, we came to an end to this particular session. I hope you might have learned a lot from this particular session, and I wish you all the very best for the prelims examination 2024. Till that particular point of time, have a good day. Thank you.